Hello everyone, SirMonkeySuit or Zappy here, back again with Ghost in the Shell Standalone Complex Season 1. We are on episode 22, and in the last episode, it was a really good one. We got a lot of action scenes. The Major herself got into a bit of bother, which is the first time we've really seen it. You know what I mean? We haven't seen like anything sort of take place beforehand where the Major was actually in any real trouble. But yeah, she was in the last episode. But then she proceeded to get really pissed off and go to town with a sniper rifle at point blank range against that one cyborg dude. And I don't know if he's dead or not. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I really don't know. It seemed like it was hard to get through the armor, but it seemed as though it was piercing at point blank range. So. You know what I mean? But he is a cyborg, so I don't know to like, you know, to what degree, like how much punishment he can actually take. But yeah, it was a really good episode. We also got more with the actual Laughing Man. Now, whether or not that RI kid is the like actual like the person that you would consider the Laughing Man or not, we don't know. But he did give over the original file, which is the recipient list for the Mirai vaccine, right over to Bato. And then hacked Bato essentially to the point where he couldn't perceive the Laughing Man like being there. He basically hacked his eyes so that he couldn't be seen. It was really, really cool. The one guy, Imakarusu, he died. He got killed off. You know, and Tagusa is in a stable sort of position right now, but he you know, it's possible that he's going to be getting prosthetics to help out with them. So, you know, we'll see what we get in this next episode. But yeah, I mean, other than that, don't think there's anything else to really talk about. So we're going to get in episode 22 and see what we get. So if you want to go actually watch the reaction, link is in the description below. There's also the link to the full length if you want to watch it in full and not just the 10-minute version. Then the offer is there for you. But yeah, nothing else to really talk about. So we're going to get in episode 22, see what we get. So without further ado, let's go. Okay, episode 22. Yeah, really cool. I'm really enjoying these episodes. You know what I mean? Like this, just everything that can be considered like pieces of the puzzle being put into place. You know, every like ever so slightly is nice to witness, and also like the sort of the stakes now are like really like starting to ramp up a bit. In the space of 3 episodes, you know what I mean? We've had Tagusa in a, you know, life-threatening state, and Aramaki. Basically, like the fact that they actually planned that, like I was thinking, you know, this whole thing with like the brother just came out of nowhere, and I felt like it was very odd, like that it came out of nowhere. So it makes sense that it was just basically a foil to put Aramaki in a place where they could basically take him down, right? And you know, basically undo everything that Section 9 had done to the you know, to the Narcs and the, I guess, the Ministry of Health as a whole. So that corruption still just lies very not in a dormant state, we'll put it that way. So yeah, I'm guessing whoever that Chief Cabinet Secretary Yakashima guy is, that he was the one that must have put that into plan. You know, because that we had that Kanzaki guy, so the former Prime Minister who came in, which again came in from a standalone episode. And I've said before, I love it when the standalone episodes kind of like come back around. It means that they're not entirely like the standalone episodes are not entirely like, you know, just separate from everything else. You know what I mean? It sort of builds out the world in a way of like. Because I feel like, for example, if you have like, you know, there are other shows that will have certain episodes that could be like OVAs or something like that, where nothing really matters in the long run. Like, there's nothing really that you could connect with like an OVA to, you know, to the actual arc of the show. You know, that isn't always the case. Some OVAs do flesh out the world and everything like that, but sometimes you'll just get ones that are just like they don't add anything. It's just more, you know, just like characters fooling around or anything like that. So I like the fact that the standalone episodes are not just stuff on their own that's completely separate. I like it that things come back into it relating to what had happened previously, you know what I mean? So the whole idea behind Aramaki, helping out with Kanzaki's daughter in that one standalone episode come back around and give that sort of word of warning. Now, it didn't help in the long run because Aramaki was still, I mean, it's an interesting one, isn't it? Because Aramaki is that one, I guess the one person that you would think wouldn't fall for that. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like Aramaki's strength is the head on his shoulders. So, you know what I mean? But I guess that puts into sort of perspective the idea of, like, because the whole brother thing was actually true, that he was somebody that went missing. I'm guessing it's World War III, but he only said the word the war. So I'm guessing, like, clearly it's extremely important for Aramaki enough to send him on that sort of quest to find out, find his brother and just see and make sure. But we're ended off there with the whole thing of his brother is still alive and he is out there somewhere, so it gives him some peace knowing that. I don't know what it was in particular that gave the Major, like, an idea that his brother was actually there. You know what I mean? Like, because they didn't explain that. They just said it's possible that he actually was there, kind of thing. You know what I mean? And they didn't mention the reasons why. But yeah, I mean, it's a whole scary thing when you've got the government involved and the government corruption, that they're able to just grab a hold of shit like that and use it against, you know what I mean, the people that are, trying to attack. You know what I mean? They have that sort of information that they can just grab a hold of. And with, the amount of influence that these corrupt people have, they can attack you in multiple different ways. You know what I mean? And I think we're seeing that a lot now, especially in these last 3 episodes. The whole, obviously, scene of the transfer happening with the Major from one body to another. Damn, it's just like it must be a horrible thing. You know what I mean? I'm surprised that the Major actually was just giving her the evil eye. Like, you know what I mean? As if, like, she never sweated it. You know what I mean? Like, it was almost as if she must have had a plan, but then I don't know how she would have. Because, like, that whole sort of kind of operation of transferring from one prosthetic body to another, I feel like is the most vulnerable she could ever be. You know what I mean? Unable to do anything at that point. I thought it was weird, like, just this sexy fucking doctor coming in, like, out of nowhere. It's like, I don't recognize you, kind of thing, and it's like, you're too sexy for this, I think. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, there was definitely something about that, but yeah, I loved that whole scene, though, with the Laughing Man coming in. That was great. I'm really enjoying the scenes with him where he is not using somebody else to talk through, It's like he knows where to go and at what time, you know what I mean? Because I guess he just uses his hacking to make sure everything is going to plan. That, like, he's kind of got everything under control, you know what I mean? And I feel, like, safe with him there, you know what I mean? I was talking about it in the last episode, like, I wonder if it's going to be some sort of partnership with him in Section 9. Now, the way that he was explaining it, I don't know how much more Laughing Man we're going to get, because he was like, it's like he's going into, like, the final part of his plan. And he basically said, I'll help you out here now, as long as you don't sort of, don't get in my way, don't try and stop me for what I'm about to do, kind of thing. And I'm wondering, like, I get the feeling, because obviously he sort of put that trust in the Major and Section 9 as a whole to be the ones to follow through with whatever comes after his final part of the plan. The feeling I get is that he's going to sort of martyr himself. You know what I mean? Like, something, whatever the final part of this plan is something that is going to end up costing his life, but it's going to be something that something that breaks through, like something big that can, you know, people can actually grasp and then hold on to, is like, yeah, the you know, the government is full of all of these fucking, you know, these corrupt officials and everything like that, and put it out into the open. It seems as though there's going to be something along the lines of that, and I think the feeling I get is that he's going to martyr himself for it. I know that he said it as like, if the subtitles are being quoted, it's like, if I die, right? If I fail and die kind of thing. It's like, I for some reason I don't get the if. I feel like he knows he's going to die, but like, if he has to in order to prove this point, then it's worth it for him in the end. I love the scene of him transferring the memories across. That was really cool. And obviously the opening song obviously put, like, you know what I mean, like, being put in there as, like, you know, as a use of like the sort of soundtrack and music to, you know what I mean, it's a very crucial and important moment of where the Major now has all of these, you know what I mean, these she has a full picture now. And obviously with those memories come that sort of experience. She now, even though when she was, because, you know, the idea is that, like, she, you know, she doesn't like them, doesn't like the smarty pants types and everything like that. It seemed as though she was like, she didn't truly understand the reasoning for why the Laughing Man is doing what he's doing. But as soon as she got those memories, it was like, it sort of clicked, and now everything kind of makes sense. And I wonder if just because the Laughing Man is that good at hacking, that maybe, because obviously the Laughing Man knew what was happening with the Major at that point, that he could actually come in and help her, that I wonder if therefore he knows more like outside stuff, and that's how the Major knows about Yosuke, so the brother, and that's how she knows that he was actually out there. Because, you know, with this sort of this innate hacking ability that, you know, that the Laughing Man has, we don't know how much information he has access to, you know what I mean? But I feel like because he is that good at it, he has, you know, a lot of information of just fucking everything. And it seems as though, like, he gave her everything. You know what I mean? Like, it seemed like it was like everything, but I don't know. But yeah, just really cool, powerful scene. So yeah, I enjoy the Laughing Man scenes, where he turns up in person. I just love the fact that he can just walk in and out and hack people so that their perception of that, like, of him is not even there. It's just quality. It's an awesome way of, like, because it, you know, it's like what Bato said in the previous episode of, like, it's not just camouflage. It's like he's literally forced you to not be able to perceive him. It's fucking cool as fuck. It's a really interesting sort of take on it, I suppose. Like, something I've never seen before, like, ever happen in any other show or anything like that. Anything like brought up like that is just really cool. A really cool way for him to get around without being spotted and everything like that, you know. But yeah, it makes me wonder, like, if there are people out there that don't have cyber brains, you know, or is it that they are forced to have one when they're brought into the world, you know? I wonder, because then it's like you've got that group of people or that person or whoever that can, like, you know, they don't have that disadvantage of actually being hacked because they don't have a cyber brain, you know what I mean? Everything's organic, so it'll be interesting if, like, that's ever something that does crop up in the series. But yeah. Yeah, so that Nimi guy attempted cyberbrain suicide, so that fucked up his brain essentially and his memories of everything. So now his testimony doesn't mean, it means jack shit, which that sucks, because, you know what I mean, it's like they were so close, but that one thing has just basically put them back again. So now it's just another thing of, like, them having to obviously do, I guess, like, more detective work and, you know, look around and see what else is going on, what else can they get as evidence that's going to, you know, help them obviously in this whole endeavor. So, you know, of course the Laughing Man and his final part of the plan is obviously the big thing, so, you know, we'll see what happens with that when it comes to that. But But yeah, I mean, we had obviously Tagusa in the hospital. Bato was talking to him. He was saying, like Tagusa was like, oh yes, you had what happened to you happened to me. And yeah, that makes sense. Like in episode 11, that's the reason why, Tagusa was, he was trying to draw a picture of something. He ended up drawing the Laughing Man logo, right? It's because his perception of what he is actually drawing is something completely different, and everything like that. It's like he's being forced to see something that isn't actually there. So yeah, really cool how they brought that back. What else? Yeah, there was something interesting with the refugee place as well. They had what I can only describe as like a dispenser. And yeah, that's like, I don't know, it's fucked. Because in my head, I'm thinking that dispenser is from like the sort of higher class that like give them something every so often. You know what I mean? Like, it seems like very fucked up in a way. Or if there's like it's like timer based kind of thing, something like that. But it's crazy that you just have this like one part of the city that is totally destroyed, and I'm guessing it is obviously from the war, right? And that's just where like all of the homeless and everything like sort of hang out. But it's just crazy that they have like that, just like sort of like dispenser there, and it's just like for one thing, just a can of, like a soft drink. But yeah, interesting. Yeah, and other than that, I don't think there's anything else to really talk about. Just another really cool episode that I can't, it's getting to the point now where like, it's like I look forward to the next episodes now, because we are actually getting somewhere. Beforehand, it was more like, it was like, oh well, anything could crop up in these next episodes, you know what I mean? And it was always like, well, if it's going to be another standalone one, then I guess that's what we're going to do, you know what I mean? But when we have, the complex episodes now, like we're getting into the very, the meat of it, and everything is starting to make sense and come together, it's getting interesting. So yeah, I'm definitely enjoying it. But yeah, that's all I've got. So thank you for watching. If you want to gain access to episode 23 and 24 right now, you can do by going over to my Patreon and becoming an early access tier patron. There is also the full length tier there if you want to watch any of my reactions in full and not just the 10-minute version. And then there is the exclusive tier where you can get access to my movie reactions and things like that. So if you want to watch my reactions to movies, that's where that's the tier that you want to go get. There's also a link to the Discord in the description if you want to get over there, then you can do. But that is all I've got, so thank you for watching. I'll see you all next time. Bye bye.